Well, it helps turn the camera on. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Devin O'Day, and it's time for Main Street Today, and we have got a big old show for you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey, by the way, do you have your fireworks ticket plan over at the Nashville Sounds? They're having a big homestand coming up starting on June the 8th against Indianapolis. It's going to be fantastic, but they have a really neat ticket plan right now. If you go to nashvillesounds.com, and you can go, it's less than $20 a ticket. You can get a ticket to the game, and there are like 8 fireworks shows. It's so much fun. And First Tennessee Park is amazing. For a night game, it's absolutely so much fun. Well, we're going to kick things off with a place in Murfreesboro that I know that you need to know about. If you're in the Murfreesboro area and you are a young parent, it's a thriving community. But if you have children and you want to go out, let's say, and you don't have time to find a babysitter, or you don't have a babysitter that you can trust, well, let me tell you about Kids Park.
What's Kids Park? Well, it isn't babysitting. It's a chance for my kids to socialize, have fun, and learn. It's a safe, licensed, hourly center with qualified teachers. Best of all, we never need a reservation. The only question is, who loves Kids Park more, me or my kids?
How long have you guys been in business?
So we opened a little over a month ago, middle of March.
Wow. Now, what did you do before Kids Park?
Quite a few different things. So my background was in the military, and then when I left active duty, I spent a little time in a technology company and a real estate company before we made this jump, and Megan had a little different path.
Actually, my background is in medicine. So I was in general surgery when we first got married, and then decided to focus on having a family, and felt like those two were kind of at odds. So once our daughter came into our lives, I stayed home with her. So had been just staying at home, occupying a little kid. Not much different from what I'm doing right now.
You know what's amazing too, with that medical background and military background, oddly enough, I see where those play perfectly into what you're doing now.
It's been good so far. I mean, the teamwork aspect, one of the things that's been the most fun for us, I think, has been working together. Kind of the divide and conquer when it comes to the day-to-day and the overall of running the business. It's been a lot of fun to see Megan take certain things and run with it, and then I go a different direction with other items.
To your point, I think we both have kind of that mentality of attention to detail. So I think that's worked really well in our favor here.
And if I were going to leave my child somewhere, knowing that someone had military experience and someone had medical experience, I'd feel very safe with that.
Yeah.
You know, rather than the teenager down the street that may or may not have a lot of experience at all with children.
So yeah. Hopefully, there's a little more to do here than a babysitter. Always a place for babysitters. Did a little babysitting growing up. I think you did as well, right? But hopefully, there's a little bit more here, a little more engagement for the kids.
Let's talk about your hours and how people get involved when they want to bring their kids here. You're here in Murfreesboro at a beautifully close location, dropping off so mom and dad can go have a date night or whatever. But what are your nighttime hours?
So our hours, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 in the morning till 10 p.m. at night. Friday and Saturday we're open until midnight, and then Sunday we close a little earlier at 6 o'clock. So late night Friday and Saturday, so we're right in the middle of Murfreesboro, so there's a lot to do around here. And the idea then is parents for a date night or a movie night or whatever it might be can drop their kids off and still get out and have fun and come back and get them late that night.
How much prep to have a child dropped off? How much time, how much do you have to fill out? Because I'm sure there's paperwork. So everything online. Speaking of, what is your website where people can go and find out more about you?
kidspark.com/Murfreesboro.
Way to do child care. Kids Park in Murfreesboro, convenient to everything you need, everything you use, everything you enjoy. Kids Park Murfreesboro on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Well, this next story involves a couple of things. First of all, one of my favorite people, most talented woman I know. She's just a woman that can just do anything. Kelly Lang, she's in the waiting room right now, but she's got an album called Old Soul. And this past weekend, we lost somebody very dear that is an incredible, incredible singer. And he gave a quote about her album, Old Soul.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Ooh, girl, Kelly Lang, I love your voice, that sultry sound that you bring to the party. But let's talk about our friend BJ Thomas. How are you?
You know, it's just been such a surreal week. The first of the week, we lost our little dog, Sandy, and it has destroyed us. And then to hear this news about BJ, it's just like we just feel so gutted. I don't know even how to describe it. We loved him so much, and I really felt that he was going to be strong enough to make it through this. And boy, life is very fragile, and I don't know. My heart goes out to his family, really.
Now, were you connected through TG and the Memphis crowd? Because he was so entrenched in Memphis.
He was. No, I was just such a huge fan of his growing up. And his voice and his unique style was always just something that I loved. And it comforted me growing up. And I remember meeting him, I was like 16 years old. And I just thought,
my goodness,
what amazing. I mean, just such a kind person too. And
yeah,
I met him at Spence Manor. My manager knew how much I loved him.
Yeah.
When I was 16, and he arranged that I could meet him there. And I'm sure he had just woken up because, you know, I was like, Mr. Thomas, you know, he was so kind, and he knew I was, you know, coming with my manager to meet him. But he was very generous with his time that day. And then fast forward many years later, TG and I wrote a song called 100% Chance of Pain. And BJ flew in to record that song with us in the studio. Jimmy Fortune was on that track as well. And then, you know, when I was with you at WSM, he called in and we got to talk with him from the golf course, I believe. And he's just such a gentleman and so always willing to be there and be your friend. And with him writing such a lovely quote about my album, it didn't get any bigger than that. You know, his word of affirmation over me really gave me confidence with this project.
For those of you that don't know, Kelly guest hosted with me several times, and one week we literally went through her phone and just called people, and we had BJ Thomas, Olivia Newton-John, Barry Gibb. I mean, Crystal Gale came in and visited us. You and I were like two starstruck teenagers when Crystal walked in and we sang with her.
That was awesome.
I thought, this is like the best day on the planet, because you and I are like goobers for Crystal Gale too. We're like,
I grew up wanting to be her, you know. I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but I used to get a little gooseneck lamp, and I made a wooden microphone, and I tapped KL into the thing with the nail, and I put a string on it, and would sing to her songs and sell tickets to my family and whoever I could, you know, beg to get there. And I would sing, "Don't know when I've been so blue." To be able to do that with her, just it's mind blowing. You know, and it's wasn't that a great week?
Yes, it was one of the highlights of my whole radio career was hanging out with you on the radio, and we had so much fun. And I want to tell everybody about Kicking It with Kelly, because a lot of people, you have these wonderful snippets on your YouTube channel. And if you ever watch Kelly, she does amazing makeup tips.
Oh, don't look at me today. I'm all puffy today. I'm just like, ugh. But I have learned some really fun tips throughout the years. From Marie Osmond was one of my favorite, like a highlight moments. I guess I looked really rough one day, and she goes, "Come with me. I'm going to help you."
Okay, well, we have a Kicking It with Kelly lined up. We're going to share it real quick.
Oh gosh, Devin. I personally don't have any makeup tips or beauty advice from myself. Like, who am I to say? But I have learned a lot from other people. As a matter of fact, one of my favorites was when Marie Osmond took me into her backstage at the Flamingo, her dressing room in there. She and her makeup artist do a makeup tutorial on me on Facebook Live, 1 hour before her showtime. I couldn't believe that Donny Osmond popped his head into this makeup tutorial. It was a blast. And I learned a lot from her, how to contour, how to do lip liners, how to change yourself into different looks for like Hollywood looks, and it was just a blast. If you'd like to learn some of those tips, you can actually click below and watch the whole Facebook Live with me.
You see, I beg, stole, and I borrowed. Yeah. Ooh, that's why I'm easy.
Everybody was checking in. The Kelly Lang fan club is on watching us today.
All three of them.
No, there are way more, and I just couldn't put any more on the roll while we were doing that. But hello to Kim and Tim and EB and all our folks who are here every day.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome, Devin. I miss you so much.
Oh gosh, I miss you too. Well, you know what? Things are getting back to the happy place where people can hug again. And
I've been sneaking hugs the whole time, so I'm probably one of those bad people. But luckily, we did not come down with the virus, and we're vaccinated. All is well, So back on the road. We're going on the road tonight and doing some shows in Georgiana and Laurel, Mississippi, and then Cossie, Texas next week. So things are looking up, Deb. I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. And can I ask you about, you're in the studio this week. You've been in the studio. Is Buddy back at the helm?
Buddy is back at the helm. I'm so excited to be working with him. He's doing much better. He's doing natural treatments that he learned in Mexico. And seemingly all is doing really, really well. He's going back in August. We're talking about Buddy Hyatt, my co-producer. He's going back in August to Mexico to get rescanned and revisit all that we started a few months ago. And I want to personally thank everybody for going to his GoFundMe account that I set up. It is even to the least amount donated to the biggest amount donated. You have no idea the amount of peace that has given him, just knowing that he can move forward and not be devastated financially with all of these treatments. And I was in the studio with him last night, and seeing him in his element just made me so happy. I love him so much.
He's a great producer and an even greater guy. And I promoted that like crazy on this show. And thank you for all you guys that gave. The GoFundMe account really was very helpful. And well, I just wish you a happy trip as you and TG hit the road and have some good shows out there. And I can't wait to see you again. Thank you for your time.
Devin, I've got some huge news coming up in August. I've never done anything quite this big in my life, so I can't wait to share with you.
Okay. Well, we are overdue. We're overdue, and you will be back here to make a big old announcement, okay?
I love you so much.
I love you too, and I'm going to play one of your sexy songs. Can I do that?
You know what? I just recorded Do You Think I'm Sexy for the new album coming out.
No kidding. Oh, I cannot wait. Well, standing by, there's actually somebody I cannot wait for you to meet. Her name is Angela Shelton, and we're going to be talking with her in just a few minutes. She is a filmmaker, and she's a writer, and she is a warrior. She is a brave warrior woman, and we're going to hear her story coming up in just a few right after this song. Bye, Kelly. I love you.
Bye. I love you too. Bye.
I love the same music, man. So girl, I can understand. He'll melt you right in his hand when he plays his guitar. He will seduce you, and then he will use you. He did the same to me, right here in this bar. just like an old string from his guitar. He played me slow and sweet, then played me fast and hard. He plucked the melody right from my heart. And when I played out of tune, he replaced me way too soon from his guitar. I know you're having fun, but girl, I suggest you run. He'll break your heart in two. Yeah, that man gets around. Yes, I know for certain you'll be worn down and broken. Then he'll leave you on the ground where you can't make a sound. Just like an old string from his guitar. He'll play you slow and sweet, then play you fast and hard. He'll pluck the melody right from your heart. And if you play out of tune, he'll replace you way too soon from his guitar. From his guitar. Just like an old string from his guitar. He played me slow and sweet, then played me fast and hard. He plucked the melody right from my heart. And when I played out of tune, he replaced me way too soon from his guitar.
Man, I tell you what, that is a great album too. That was the one right before Old Soul and Obsession. Such a great album. And Kelly Lang is probably one of the most beautiful women I know. She is just absolutely stunning. So follow her, Kicking It with Kelly. Follow her YouTube channel because it's always updating and it's got really cool stuff on it. You'll love it. Hey, now this next segment, if you have children who might be watching, this might be a little tough. So just want to give you a little advisory warning because we're about to hear the story of a warrior woman who, and it's important, this message needs to get out there. So it just might be a little rough for some kids. I just want to let you know. Her name is Angela Shelton and she is a filmmaker. But let's talk about a project. I'm going to show you a video clip of a project called, she went throughout the country, literally searching for people with her name. And it was the most amazing discovery.
I'm doing a documentary called Searching for Angela Shelton, and we're going to every Angela Shelton in the country. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's my way of surveying women in America.
Is this Angie Shelton?
It sure is.
This
I'm Angela Shelton too. We're everywhere.
Most of us have been either raped, beaten, or molested.
You bring your children up to think, watch out for strangers and the bad guy, but nobody says, watch out for Uncle Joe.
I'm so sorry for what he did.
It's not your fault.
I know. But it's my dad.
My mother, she was actually molested by her father.
I've been raped at gunpoint, and it was a guy that I was dating.
He ran behind me and grabbed me from behind and dragged me in the park.
Just think how many more women that are not Angela Sheltons that have been treated the same way.
I feel like I'm on a crusade.
I think that you're looking for something.
There's a force out there that is directing you.
I just found out the Angela Shelton in Charleston tracks sexual predators for a living. And my father lives in Charleston. And he is a child molester.
And your father's never charged with anything?
But I get to go see him.
You're going to see him?
What are you going to say to him?
I expose him.
Happy Father's Day.
Not a manipulator as such.
How come everyone would be lying then?
I don't know if it's really classed as a lie. I didn't do it, and that's all I can say.
You lie. Yeah, I'm so searching for closure. And you have to give it to yourself.
All of us females should stick together. Unity.
It does get better, and you can get out of a bad situation and turn your life around and make it better for you.
Bad things may have happened to you, but it's your decision how the rest of the story goes.
Woo! Girl, unmute yourself. I'm going to have to get you unmuted there.
Wow. I haven't seen that trailer in a while. I got all like a little like, oh, I got verklempt a little.
Well, welcome, Angela, and thank you for being a brave warrior in a subject that people don't talk about.
Yeah. And thank you for having me on. By the way, you and I need to be friends. You and I are doing so many similar things, including like, had I not been a model, I would have got a PhD in theology.
I am so thrilled to meet you. And this is, I just want you to know, this is kind of an ongoing thing because I couldn't figure out, we don't have enough time to do everything that Angela does. But I said, we're just gonna peel back this little onion here so people can see some of the things. And this subject matter is something that's really important. When you started, first of all, what made you decide to go look for people with your name?
Oh, truly, I'm a filmmaker and I want to make a comedy. I'm like, I'm funny. Come on. And I wanted to make a comedy. And I was told, honestly, by another male filmmaker that I was too young and too female to direct. And I don't know about you, but I was like, and I was like, give me 10 minutes, boy. And I will have a crew and a plan. And I was pitching a job to HBO. And they asked me, they're like, well, the writer's strike is about to happen. We can't actually fund this movie, but we could fund a documentary. Do you have any ideas for a documentary? I'm like, yeah. And I literally just, I don't know. I think everything happens for a reason and you get called down, like you get messages and stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
And I literally was like, I'm going to go see every Angela Shelton in America. Because I had just like gone to pick up a prescription and they asked me which Angela Shelton I was. And then I went to a casting and two of us stood up and then I got mail from another Angela Shelton. So it was already in the global brain, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, what if I just meet everyone with my name and I actually interview women by using my name? And they're like, great, do it. That's a great idea.
It is a great idea. But then to find out some of the things that they had been like you, molested, raped.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth joins us. She says, I have no words. What an amazing, powerful, and painful story. Brave, beautiful lady. Thank you, EB.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be funny. I just wanted, who are you? Where have you been? And where are you going? That was my broad, like, I'm going to talk to you on the phone. Who are you? Where have you been? And where are you going? And they wanted to know, well, who are you? And where have you been? And where are you going? And I ain't giving you my credit card. And so I had to be like, well, actually, I'm a Southern girl, like Cliff Notes. Like, what do you do in your life? You got 2 minutes to tell your whole life. I grew up in a pretty abusive home. I was removed from that home, put into foster care, and then I moved all over the country. And my mom got married many times, and I wrote a movie about that. We kind of won Sundance or did Filmmaker Trophy, and that came out. And there's a movie, and my next movie is this one. And all of them said, "What did you say about abuse?" And I was like, it's all right. I got a therapist. I'm good. And they're like, "No, well, what about it?" And I said, "Well, I was sexually abused in my home, and then there was domestic violence, and there's some," and then it became me too. Wow. Then I was like, "Oh man, this is a different conversation."
It is a different conversation, and it's one that people don't have enough because it's hard. It's just a hard conversation, and when I spoke out about rape at 19, when I started telling people about that story, I was a mature woman, and I realized that I'd kept my mouth shut about something that happened to me. But as we start sharing our stories, there's light that shined on the darkness, and people around us get empowered to start speaking out. And when you do, that evil doesn't have any more power over you.
Yeah. Well, I've traveled the country. I've spoken every single state. I've been to every state in this whole country, and I've started to go abroad. And I've seen, like, okay, if we really want to have this longer conversation, there's a systematic problem we have to address. And if you want to address literally the system, the problem at the root, it's hammering the toe of a giant. Literally, you're like, good luck with that. And you're hammering the toe of the giant. So I believe, like, if we all healed, like me and you heal, and then we really rise at the same level, like water, we rise collectively, and everyone around you is inspired to heal, then we are creating a global change by having conversations like this, and there's other people to heal, and then there's a healing happening, and then you're rising at the level, and you can get to the, you're not hammering the toe of the monster anymore. You're let's get some eye level here and drown you.
I absolutely love this.
But you have to have conversations and come out of the darkness and know that it's not scary, and I have all the stuff I do, I'm always going to push the conversation, including men. I just see Tim, male survivors, like male, this is not a female issue.
Right.
Men are also abused and tortured and raped and beaten, and it's important this is a people problem, Well, and it's a matter of conversations. And I like talking about healing on all levels. I know you said peeling the onion of me is like, careful coming to her party. Because I'm talking about, like, healing our sex lives too, and I'm glad you put a little disclaimer about the kids in the front, because like I'm a safe side super chick too. I don't know if you knew that, for little kids. So little kids, I have I'm safe side super chick. I won an Emmy for that.
Wow.
But talking to keeping kids safe, but for the adults, I really believe honestly that if we actually spoke and had conversations and talked about the dark stuff, and we had actually healthy, spiritually connected sex that we talked about in church. Let's talk about that theology. And we actually start having that conversation, there wouldn't be such deviant behavior in the basements.
Amen. I will tell you that right now, because I'm going to give a shout out to Rest Stop Ministries, my friend Rondi. She started a program to pull women out of human trafficking, but it's a long-term residential care for women pulled from human trafficking. But this is the story of so many of the women that have been trafficked. This is their story as well. And so I think about it, pulling it out of the basements also keeps, and I think about how the influence of the porn industry on this particular behavior. It's like pulling a string and everything falls out, and you go, what do we do with this? Yeah. But it's one person at a time, one story at a time. And that's how we start healing everybody.
And so I'm the outrageous one. You can count on me to, like, do the things and say the things that you're like, she said it. And do outrageous things, because then it's like, it makes it palatable. It makes it funny.
Mm-hmm.
I do funny, shocking things, and then we're laughing, and then I'm gonna talk about some real heavy stuff. It's like I have a comedy cooking show, but it's not funny.
Oh, I know. It is called Stirring Up Trouble.
I'm Angela Shelton. We have Gibson Cage today. How do you get women to have sex with you?
How do you like these? Love's the only answer. I'm married to Lady Jesus.
Back up a second. You mentioned something about your mom and coming from a heavy past.
Right.
And this is Stirring Up Trouble.
See? Now that's what we're talking about. Well, where do people find out more about you? I've got your video set up, but that's for another visit because we're going to talk about your music in another show. Because
excellent, I love it. It came out today. Honestly, you can find you can fall down the rabbit hole at angelashelton.com. That good luck.
But your video came out today.
Yes, today, just now, June 3rd.
Okay, and
that video is a story about how I spotted and escaped a sociopath.
Okay. Never mind. We're just going to go long today because we can. This is the intranet. So we're going to go a little bit long today because I've got the video there. This could be, as I will say, if you just joined us, might be a little disturbing, but tell us the story.
Well, the story of this, honestly, was Chris Dodson. He's you probably know him.
Yeah.
Executive. He saw my documentary and was like, oh my God, who are you? Why am I just seeing this? Oh my gosh, are you write songs? We should write songs together. I was like, I do write lyrics, and he's like, I want to write a song with you to a perpetrator. And he wanted, originally, his goal was to write it like to my father, my biological father.
Mm-hmm.
And the words that he had originally started with like a concept were very triggering. And it got me thinking, I was like, I love it because you're coming in new to like, you haven't seen me speak, and like everything I do is going to be healing and escape routes and talking about like even today, like somebody's going to hear something we talked about and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go find a healing technique.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want like the words, daddy, please don't touch me like that. Like that's triggering. And I'm like, no, it's more like, here's the escape route. Here's how to change your brain. So I was like, how about we just take the dad out and talk about love, and then you can put whatever person that you feel in there. And I had an experience with the narcissist sociopath that I didn't see. It took me 9 months to actually like see that I was being gaslit. I didn't, and here I know all this stuff, and I never experienced that in my life. And it was what got me was the lies that we tell ourselves. When you got a red flag parade right in front of you, you're like, well, I mean, it's Memorial Day. You just come up with all these lies and excuses when you in your heart know. And I always say, you always know the answer to the question you're asking. You just need to listen to yourself, because 10 years from now, you're going to look back and like, well, I knew I shouldn't have been in that relationship. Well, if you know it 10 years from now, you know it right now. You're just not, you need to listen to yourself. You already know the answer to the question you're asking. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
You know the answer. You're just going around and asking, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? When really it's like, well, you need to talk to yourself and God and have a little moment. And so this song was about what lies are you telling yourself? And how can you switch out of it and decide to like give those to that person and you get the hell out?
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with Benny Jenkins, who also directed Stirring Up Trouble. And he's a director that I met in Nashville, because I'm like, I can breathe in Nashville. I love it here. Like I just found like I can breathe, right? And Benny Jenkins, the moment he saw me, he totally got me. He's like, he and I were like, I see you. You know what I mean? Like the Avatar.
Yeah.
I see you. and he was like, let's do a video. He was like, what's your ideas? I was like, first of all, I have some followers that have known me for 20 years. And I always talk about like getting over your thought patterns, your negative thought patterns in your head. And one of them, this is funny. I'm sorry. This is make people laugh. One of them is changing the negative thought patterns of like, I'm ugly, I'm useless, I'm nothing, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say on stage many times, and I can't wait to get back on stage about like, well, you can do that all day long and like say like, I'm a goddess, but I don't know about you, but I have some chin hairs. And I'd be like, the negative thought pattern would be like, that's why I don't like short guys, by the way. You don't want them seeing that.
Say, I'm sorry, but you're on eye level with my chin hair. Okay.
And so the negative thought patterns would be like, you're no goddess. Goddesses don't have beards. And so it's like, I do this funny thing about how to change your negative thought patterns. And I was like, okay, just as a twofold, one, to make my core audience laugh off, something to do where it's shaving my face, right? And then that's all I said to him. And he went off and created this whole, which you will see if you're going to share, to thought the idea for a layman who doesn't know that joke, who's not going to laugh and be like, I love you, Angela Shelton, you're hilarious. But think, what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
That's the video is very disturbing and weird. It's like David Lynch, like Blue Velvet, where you're like, what is happening?
It's like, what is this?
But that's like, what is this when you're in a dark relationship and you're in with a sociopath or a narcissist or an abuser, and you're like, what is happening? And why am I not listening to myself? Right. And what's wrong with this picture?
And something is not right here.
Yeah.
And if you feel that in your gut, something is not right here. Something's not right here. And it is incumbent upon you to say, what is my exit plan? What is my exit strategy?
And but the exit strategy, by the way, domesticshelters.org, which I put all the links up on the YouTube page and on my, they have excellent resources to even learn, like, what is gaslighting? You know, how to spot it, how to even heal your brain after you dealt with a sociopath, how to escape. Like, so I just want to give a thank you to the people who are working.
Well, we're gonna play the video, and again, I will say it can be very disturbing, and I'm gonna play it anyway because that's kind of razor blade I am, because this needs to be out there. And I love you right back. And YouTube, follow Angela on YouTube, and it's just an incredible gift to have you speak out. And thank you, Warrior Woman. I want you to come back. Will you do that?
Oh my gosh, we need to.
I got your cell phone number. Publicist did that. Publicist gave me your cell phone number, and I got so yeah. I'll talk to you soon. Okay,
I'll church on Sunday with you.
You got it. All right, talk to you soon. Okay, everybody, this is the video, and I will tell you, it's got a lot of meat on the bone.
Be a good one, not one I despise. I try so hard to please you, and all you do is lie. We tell ourselves this story that all is well. You really love me as far as I can tell. A strong and handsome man, yet so untrue. I wanted to be the one wanted by you, the one most charming outside while disappointing in. Playing this game of yours, no one ever wins. I see all the signs of your red flag parade of who you could have been, and pray that you get saved. Wishing this addiction did not lead me astray on the path that takes me straight down to my grave. Love, please be a good one, not one I despise. Try so hard to please you, but all you do is lie. Tell ourselves this story that all is well. You really love me as far as I can tell. I was your favorite young and wild. My lips were steady,
Whew, man, what a message. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's show. We're going to close with my friend Brigette Tatum, and she's going to be on stage with me and a whole host of other people like Earl Bud Lee and Brassfield on Saturday, 12:30, 3rd and Lindsley. Remember, be safe, be kind, but most of all, remember that you are loved.
Mr. Jason Aldean recorded this song and it went #1 for me, and one of y'all liked it because it beat out Pink's ringtone, and I got upset about that until BMI sent me a check, and then I was like, sorry Pink, you're just gonna have to catch it next time. Thank you for having me, but I'm gonna dedicate this to you, Bridget, and all the country girls, because we needed a country song, and we got one, and I love singing it, and I'll never ever not love singing it. So thank you for letting me do this for you, and thank you for being here. I hope y'all have a really, really great time in Nashville, Tennessee.
She's